Greetings, are you dealing with too many files open in your code editor? Do you find it time consuming opening and closing files? Is there a way to make file management a thing of the past? WindMillCode, open related files. Download today. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Connect with us on Discord and Slack for any help, tips, and suggestions. And last but not least, donate to help us grow our business. First things first, we go ahead and install the extension. Then we open up the project folder in Vscode workspace. Project link is in the video description. Then we're going to open up header.js in our React application. So I'm going to simulate typical React app development in your header view, then in your styles. Then preview is give you issues. That's the default of VS Code. You go back to header, you work, then you come to your sidebar here. Sidebar view, sidebar. Now it's giving you a hard time, so you walk away, you come back. You think you're working on sidebar styles. However, you're working on header styles, and you make a huge mistake. So let's see how our extension can handle that. Let's open in settings.json. Then we're going to copy and paste the JSON from our tutorial code. The link to the tutorial is in the video description. After that, we're going to open up our command palette, Control-Shift-P for Windows, Command-Shift-P for Mac, and we're going to select default option, then React development. Now we're going to go to header.js. We're going to open up our command palette again, and we're going to select open, React development, and now all the files related to that header.js file opens up. Let's try that for sidebar. Select the sidebar when we're in this type of setting. We select open, React development, and there we go. However, as we go along, this could get very tedious. So what we want to do is we want to toggle auto open. Select yes. And now let's go to our header. And now everything opens without the need of going to the command palette. However, as we continue to open up all these files, what we come to find, it's getting very cluttered. To handle that, we have a feature called reset layout. Reset layout, select yes, go to header. Now everything closes and opens as necessary. So for us backend developers, sometimes we have a bit more files open at a time. We need a complex layout. Let's see how that looks like with Spring Boot. Set default option, Spring Boot, and let's open up balance.java. Let's see what's going on under the hood. So these represent our rows. As you can see, 1, 2, these are the 2 rows in the editor. Then the groups are separated. So now you have 2 groups, and these are known as editor groups. You can see that separation, how this is grouped only 1 file, and how this is 2 files, and so forth. Now, the groups are the array dimensions, which these globs have to follow. And we leverage glob strings in order for the extension to figure out how to open the related files. And as you can see here, this array represents this row. This array represents this editor group, and we can open X amount of files in that editor group. And don't worry if you don't have these exact for some of your more complex layouts. Open up a different file. And even though the layout's not exact, it's still able to open up its files. In addition to that, the orientation is from left to right downward with value of 1. That's horizontal. If you want to change it to vertical, which is top to bottom rightward, we change the value to 0. You can see what this looks like. So we can see now rows turn into columns, but the layout is still preserved. Now, for Spring Boot development, your services usually get to be rather large files. So essentially what we could do about that, we could take this glob string and turn it into an object. With file path as a glob string, And the section, this is the beginning line, this is the beginning character in the line, this is the ending line, this is the ending character in the line. Let's see what that looks like. So now, instead of starting from the beginning of the service where it's all these imports that we don't need to worry about, we start where we need to start within the service. So there's no limits. Let's check out the configuration for a Ruby on Rails application for you full stack developers out there, right or big. And let's open it to see what happens. Set default option, Ruby on Rails. Let's open up application.
Music licensing reimagined.
What a big application that we can see in its entirety. This might not be useful on a laptop, but if you have a large screen at home, you could just imagine. So now, last but not least, say for example, if you wanted to open up a file but it has a suffix, you won't be able to figure it out. We could use our regexes, however, that might be too complicated. We want to spend time building our application code, not figuring out regexes. So instead of our file regex predicate, we could use our substring removal array. And by using this, the extension will remove all these prefixes and suffixes to get to that relationship string, which is going to be application or article in this case, and then replace those with the file name basis placeholder in our include globs in order to come up with the correct glob strings to go ahead and find the file. So now that we have that taken care of, let's give it a shot. And it didn't work. Not all the time it's able to properly update the default option, but not to worry, just go ahead and set your default option, Ruby on Rails. Let's give it another shot. And now it's able to properly figure it out. So thanks for watching, and links to the tutorial as well as the project will be in the video description.
Artlist.io